Welcome my next guest, Jennifer Brown.
Can you see me?
I
Hi.
can see you, Jennifer. You know what,
Hello.
Jennifer, I just want to say, like, right off the bat, I met you probably about 9 years ago in New York through a mutual friend, and
That's right.
um, I you are like a possibility model for me. And we know we've met many times since, but
Mhm.
I've always really looked up to you, and followed you and obviously respected you, and I value every conversation we've ever had. So thank you so much for being that to me as I,
Aw.
went through my own professional identity crisis.
Oh gosh, we've all been there many times.
Yes, yes. So it means a lot to me that you wrote an endorsement for the book and that you're here
Mhm.
today. So thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Congratulations, Bernadette. Yeah, wow, I mean, you're just too talented. I feel like it makes it hard to decide, like, do I want to do this? Do I want to do that? I'm good at I mean, I observe you as being just amazing at everything you tackle. So, that's a blessing. And I'll bet a lot of people agree with that who know you. But I'm so grateful that somebody with your lenses of everything you've done in the past has written a book in only the way you could write it, with only the examples that you have from your experience, which doesn't exist in the world, and this whole thing around solutions for every department is something that kind of keeps me up at night because, we do need a holistic approach, but we need tangible things that I can do if I sit in customer service, if I sit in operations, and they're somewhat different. They have certain nuances, and I just can't imagine a better person to decode that and give something that's super concrete to, like, especially sort of functional leaders, so they're not maybe at the executive level, but they're what we might call the frozen middle. That place where DEI efforts go to die. you know
Sure.
so it's like your book is like right there, like, no, this is, you can do this tomorrow, you can start, you can, no matter, it doesn't matter if you have a DNI team. I mean, you as a leader can put some of these things in place. So I thank you for writing what you've written.
Thank you. People who know me, like, I mean, I'm kind of like relentlessly pragmatic and
Love it.
practical. So the book is like super practical. But, at the end of the day, like, I'm a visionary. I'm like a big picture thinker. And so I really tried to kind of have the balance of both in the book because
Mhm.
people need the hope. I don't want to sell fear. I don't wanna sell, like, what's going wrong. I wanna sell what's going right, and I wanna
Mhm.
show, like, a really positive path forward, a progressive path forward that where people can be inspired by what's going right, and instead of what's
Mhm.
going wrong, and I know that's not how everyone is motivated, but you know what? It's what I'm about, so,
So
if you
amazing.
let's talk about that stuff. And you have a few books out, so
Mhm.
your most recent book is How to Be an Inclusive Leader, so you know what
Sure.
this process is like.
Ugh. Yes, congratulations on, doing it, like, birthing the child that is, isn't this you have many books too, like, isn't this number 4? What is
It's
this?
number 4, yeah. This is the
Wow.
first book that I've written that has absolutely nothing to do with LGBTQ weddings, so it it feels kind of like like literally starting a new chapter for me. Even
Yeah,
though I started
yeah,
the chapter a while ago, it's sort of like, all right, well, here I am, here it is, and this is
yeah.
it. This is the truly the start. So
Oh, that's
that
so funny.
feels good.
That's so cool. We have a question from our friend Dorcas Lind. Hi, Dorcas. Bernard, do we have time to maybe
Yeah,
jump into it?
sure.
So the question is, you both have written fabulous contributions to DEI strategy and implementation. What are we missing in the field that can push the envelope even further? So, new author, what's your answer to that?
What are we missing that we can push the envelope even further?
Mhm.
I think that it really is about thinking beyond HR.
Yeah,
That to me is
I
really the big
agree.
thing, is even when we're working with organizations who are looking to hire their first DEI employee, the
Mhm.
people that are doing it now are in HR.
Yeah.
And so thinking about inclusion as beyond that, as thinking about it, including supplier diversity, including marketing, including product design, designing for all. I mean, I think
Mm.
that's the piece that's really, really missing.
I so agree with you, Bernadette. And your book is the perfect antidote to that. That it's this lives in the tissue of the organization, and in every to continue the metaphor, every limb, like every in the cellular DNA of an organization. And but heretofore, a few of us have been carrying the water for the
Yep.
work, whether that's the DNI team, whether it's the ERGs. I mean,
Hmm.
right? But it's been kind of, I think, regarded by most people as sort of, oh, DNI is done by those people. It's not where I live. It's not on my to-do list. And not even to-do list. It's not even viewed, like you say, you're all about like the positive message. It has, I think we're in this place, unfortunately, where it's like, oh, well, they're taking care of it. Like, I don't want to deal with it. Like, versus wouldn't it be incredible for each business unit and business leader to say, this is part of my transformation. Like, this is what's on the next, the next evolution for me as a leader, as a human, as a family member, as a parent. What we're peddling here
Hmm.
is not a chore or medicine. It is literally a ticket to the future. And when I have leaders who are like, well, Jennifer, like, I don't know anything about this, or I don't want to get involved, or I don't agree, just all the noise that we know
Sure.
well, it's like, but you're missing this incredible opportunity to truly see people around you in a different way and with different tools, and then to somehow shoot for this amazing goal of cultures of belonging, which is good for all of us. Like, we all need it, we all crave it, like we all do our best work when we feel that. So it's like this force multiplier. But I think we've got to get it into more people's hands, and then we have to describe it in a different way. And you talk about a marketing challenge. I almost feel like sometimes we are reinventing how we talk about this, and I think we need to.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I know you've done a lot of work specifically around building allies, a lot of allies with men who don't see themselves in the
Mhm.
diversity conversation at all. And I think that's really important, because they have the power, right? And so as you say, everyone has a diversity story. So I think that's an incredibly powerful comment and commentary. And we both know
Mhm.
the Deloitte Uncovering Talent study about
Mhm.
45% of straight white men covering at work. And we all have a role to play in this. And it's not just HR, and it's not just leadership. It's beyond that. It's even beyond ERGs. So I
Yeah.
totally agree. But before we wrap up, tell me one, because I like to focus on what's going right. What is
Yeah.
inspiring you right now? What is giving you hope right now in the world of diversity, equity, and inclusion? Particularly because you've had the sort of the long game perspective on this. You've been doing this longer
Mhm.
than I have.
Yeah, like 16 or 17 years.
Yeah,
Whew, it's been a long road until and before it was popular, I suppose,
yeah.
right? Um, what gives me hope? I think, gosh, the honesty and the truth and the transparency that we are finally having, I feel like a real conversation in organizations. And I'm seeing, like, Rita, I was going to agree with you, Rita, the commitment is different. It feels different. It feels that we've sort of had a step change in terms of our foundation, our threshold has been changed radically by the last year and a half. And so that appetite that I'm feeling from people to learn and to be supported and to be better, even if it's hard,
Hmm.
I'm feeling there's an openness, a willingness, and an invitation, and a desire and a hunger for that. Whereas before it was a fear or a sort of avoidance. So
Hmm.
there's this reckoning, I think, that's hard for some people who had hoped to not really do any work.
Right.
Sorry, newsflash,
Enjoy
the
the
world is changing.
enjoy the performative, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's not so we're getting deeper, and I honestly, part of me is like, gosh, the work gets hard now. It's not about virtue signaling, it's not about the black square, it's not about, we're beyond this, and now we have to make it real, and this is the tough, like, equity work. Like,
Mhm.
the systems work piece is what's ahead of us, in addition to all of the changing we need to do on an individual basis. So that systems work is tough because some of us, especially those of us with power, are very comfortable in that system because that system was built by and for people that look like
Hmm.
us. So we don't see it. It's the warm water we swim in.
Right.
And yet that same exact system is causing harm. And so waking up to that, getting awakening others to it, and then sort of signing up to maybe do a wholesale reinvention of the workplace. I mean, this is a moment I've been waiting for like years and years because as an LGBT person, you know how uncomfortable the workplace was and is for us. And something just didn't make sense to me. I was like, I have all this to give and to contribute, but I feel blocked and I feel like I'm working double time to be seen and heard. And I'm starting to notice this is happening across the board. And so anyway, it took a pandemic. It took a racial reckoning.
Hmm.
It is, I wouldn't even say took, it's taking
Hmm.
a massive reshuffling of how we understand the world we live in to open the door for better workplaces. And I'm just finally like, I feel like I'll take it, you know, because we never could have manufactured the urgency that we feel now. Like there's almost nothing that could have happened. So,
Sure.
you know, why do things happen for us and not to us? We're in one of those classic moments. So I'm welcoming it because I need the workplace to work for all of
Sure.
us.
I mean, I could talk to you about this for a very long time. I,
Go and spend time with your other guests. Thank you
yeah,
for
I'm going to
having
move on
me.
to my next guest. But Jennifer, thank you so much for being here with me today. Thank you so much
Aw,
for all you've done in the industry. I mean, you've been a
thank
leader for so
you.
long, and we're all grateful for you. And so thank you. Thanks for being here with
Oh,
me
that's
today.
so lovely. Thanks, Bernadette. Congratulations again.
All right. Take care, Jennifer. Bye.